Today we're going to discuss about the issue that happened in one of the reputed college in Tamil Nadu.
கோவை பிஎஸ்ஜி கல்லூரியின் 2ஆம் ஆண்டு மாணவரை முட்டுக்கடித்து ராகிங் செய்ததோடு அவரை தாக்கியதில் ஏற்பட்ட காயம் குறித்த வீடியோ வெளியாகியுள்ளது.
And it also says that the ragging happens at some places at all over the world. In the case of PSG, the junior student get violently attacked by the senior students and he get clean shaved by the seniors and he has been undressed by the seniors. And not only here, in West Bengal, the Jabalpur University also reported the ragging case. And let me see why this ragging happens and what is the history of ragging. First, it means to make fun of someone. Second, it means to upbraid someone without restraint. And third, it means to draw an attention fastidiously and prestigiously to someone's alleged shortcomings.
According to the report, ragging is widely prevalent in Sri Lanka. There is no record to suggest that ragging is an indigenous phenomenon. It is widely considered to have been introduced during the post-World War II era. Sri Lankan soldiers returning from war re-entered the college education system and brought with them the tradition and the techniques of military-style ragging. These techniques were used in the military as a mechanism of breaking down an individual so that success was achieved through team effort rather than personal goals or motivation. As fewer military persons entered the universities, ragging devolved into a violent and hazardous exercise that have been largely utilized for political purposes.
Ragging continues in most government universities and private institutions, with some efforts being made to contain the problem, although there is a hesitation from administrations to get involved. These efforts have been largely hindered by the students themselves who consider ragging as their pride. The creation of safe spaces and traveling in the large groups are just some techniques employed by a growing movement of students trying to combat ragging. Traditionally, ragging would entail seniors mocking at freshers within a dedicated period of time, usually the first few months of an undergraduate university's life. This period is known as the ragging period. In Sri Lanka, several variations of ragging can be observed. Ragging has been frequently associated with a broad spectrum of physical, behavioral, emotional, and social problems among victims, and is attributed to increase the risk of suicide and dropouts among the students attending Sri Lankan universities. Ragging at private universities and higher education institutions are at the minimum as compared to the government universities, which has prompted many students with financial means to enroll in private establishments. Ragging is not merely a sociological problem and has a certain physiological basis too. Many senior students state they do not wish to rag juniors but succumb to peer pressure. On the other hand, although some new students or freshers enjoyed being ragged by the seniors, and other students despised it. Following their ragging, they did not even wish to talk to their senior students who subjected them to inhuman mental and physical torture. In 1975, the University of Pradania reported the first ragging-related death when a 22-year-old female student of the Faculty of Agriculture, Ruba, became paralyzed as the result of jumping from the second floor of the hostel Ramanathan Hall to escape the physical ragging carried out by her seniors. It was reported that she was about to be sexually penetrated by a foreign object as a part of the ragging initiation. She jumped out of the hostel building to escape the abuse, and Ruba committed suicide in 2002. And not only this, many deaths happened after this regarding the ragging in education institutions. The human rights of Sri Lankan citizens are protected in the terms of Constitution of the Democratic Socialistic Republic of Sri Lanka. which is the supreme law in the country. According to this constitution, any citizen can produce a petition to the Supreme Court in terms of Article 126 of the Constitution in the case of human right violation or a case closer to the infringement. The Constitution further highlights the ruthless, brutal treatment to any party by another as a violation of the human rights. University students are also considered as citizens and are subjected to the common law that prevails in the country. Accordingly, the Constitution constraints specified above are equally applicable to the university students. Any form of criminal or civil offense executed by them are legally to punished, and in an instance of violation such rights committed by university students, they shall be produced before the relevant court and subjected to suitable punishment that followed by the trial. After the series of ragging related incidents happened in 1997, Prohibition of Ragging and Other Forms of Violence in Education Institutions Act number of 1998 was passed in Sri Lankan Parliament. As specified in the detailed note of the Act, it is identified as an act to eliminate ragging and other forms of violence, crucial, inhuman, and degrading treatment from the education institutions. The Act specifies the relevant higher education institutions coming under the Act, and that includes all the higher education institutions established under the Universities of Act number 16 of 1978. Unlike in India, there is no official anti-ragging movement in Sri Lanka. But with the situation of ragging worsens yearly, there is a spontaneously emerging anti-ragging movement in each and every faculty of the university that ragging exists. In case of University of Peradeniya, the largest university in Sri Lanka, anti-ragging movement emerged in the year 1996. Prior to that, there was no movement against ragging, but certainly individuals managed escapes from the ragging. In the meantime, anti-ragging movements started to appear in all other universities. Several faculties in several universities have become rag-free due to these movements. Strengthened law, as well as the practical difficulties in conducting ragging, such as not providing accommodation facilities to the first year students. Internal clashes have erupted several times due to the friction between the ragging and anti-ragging movement. In India, several highly reputed colleges, especially the medical ones, have an history of ragging. Sometimes it is even considered to be a college tradition. It has been become increasingly unpopular due to the several complaints of serious injuries to the victims and stringent laws pertaining to ragging. At the national level, ragging is currently defined as any act of physical or mental abuse targeted to the other student on the ground of color, race, religion, caste, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, appearance, nationality, regional origins, identity, place of birth, place of residency, or an economic background. Following Supreme Court orders, a national anti-ragging helpline was launched by the Indian government. A report from 2007 highlights 42 instances of physical injury and reports on the 10 deaths the result of ragging. Ragging in India commonly involves seriously abuses and clear violations of human rights. Often, media reports and other unearth that it goes on in many institutions in infamous Abu Ghraib style and an innocent victims. In 1997, the state of Tamil Nadu first passed the laws related to ragging. Subsequently, a major boost to anti-ragging efforts was given by the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court of India in May 2001 in response to a public interest. And finally, friends, the violation or a discrimination against anyone in kind of anything is to be strictly avoided, and we wish that. And tell me, friends, what do you think about these ragging incidents that are happening across the world? And if you like this video, subscribe to our channel.